dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYNT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The cleanup continues in Western Kentucky. Governor Beshear says the Team Western Kentucky Fund has now raised more than $20 million to support folks there, and donations from across the state are still flooding into that region as we get closer to Christmas. Later this week, a nurse from UK Healthcare will be spending his Christmas in Mayfield, helping those in need. Jim Stratman talked to him.
We talk about the season of giving this time of year, but giving comes in different ways. The response from Kentuckians to the catastrophic tornadoes in the western part of the state exemplify that. People giving money, people giving goods, and people giving their time.
I like to help people.
Like Justin Music.
I do it on the medical side, and definitely have taken care of people that have had traumatic events and accidents and those type of things. And but this is a different approach to that.
Music is a nurse anesthetist at UK Health. This Christmas, he and his wife will be hitting the road.
We are going to take our camper, and I've been in touch with the fairgrounds, the Mayfield Graves Fairgrounds. We're going to volunteer there some on Thursday and Friday morning.
On Saturday and Sunday morning, Music tells me that he and his wife will be out in the community in Graves County, connecting with some of the families that have been impacted by those tornadoes and giving out goods that have been donated by his UK colleagues.
There's an overabundance of things flowing into that area, but it seems like there's a limit on volunteers.
He says that he's not used to helping people like this, but help is help, no matter how it's given.
It will be different, a different kind of help, but still, it ultimately just seems like the right thing to do.
Reporting in Lexington, Jim Stratman, WKYT.
Children in Western Kentucky will be getting some new toys this week. First Lady Brittany Beshear delivered toys from her Western Kentucky Toy Drive. The drive collected tens of thousands of donations. All kinds of toys are available for families with all kinds of different needs.
There's definitely those that have lost completely everything, have no home to go back to. Some maybe just lost in their property or their items that were inside the home, and that might have included some Christmas gifts. Some have just damage that they can't go back to their house yet, so they're displaced for the moment.
All the toys will be given out at 5 Western Kentucky locations through Thursday. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman got a first-hand look today at some of the tornado damage in Boyle County. She toured the Danville-Boyle County Airport this afternoon. The damage there is estimated to cost millions of dollars. Grayson Passmore gives us a look at the county's recovery process more than 1 week later.
13 airplanes and several hangars reduced to sheets of metal and scraps.
No matter how big or small the damage, right? I mean, you've seen a lot about Mayfield, a lot about Dawson, and rightfully so. But we've also got to make sure that every place that sustained significant damage has the resources that they need.
While those at the Danville-Boyle County Airport say their losses can't compare to those in other parts of Western Kentucky, they do have millions of dollars of damages on their hands. Damage Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman got a first-hand look at Tuesday.
What a powerful storm that came through, even just for a blip in time here in Boyle County, and the destruction that it did in the blink of an eye.
Crews at the airport have since cleared the majority of the damage from the EF2 tornado, and insurance claims have been filed. But as Judge Executive Howard Hunt explains, there were actually 5 tornadoes that hit the county. The other 4 were confirmed EF1s.
EF1 tornadoes in the county actually were in a very unpopulated or non-populated areas of the county and didn't do as much damage.
While crews at the airport worked quickly to clear the damage, Hunt says the rest of the community has been working just as hard to raise funds for their neighbors.
Just awe in the compassion that Kentuckians have for their fellows, whether they be in the same county or entirely different part of the state.
In Boyle County, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Hunt says they started Boyle County Cares to collect toys and money for those impacted by the storm.
Our weather continues to be tranquil as we've run through the beginning half of the week. And we'll see that for at least a couple more days out there before we really start to warm up as we head towards Christmas weekend. Now, outside, so far today, we've seen a mix of sun and clouds, and at times, more clouds than sun. But you see right at the end there, I-64 at Moorhead, we saw a little bit of sunshine there finishing things up, and we're actually seeing some pretty nice sunsets around parts of the area. Mid-40s out there right now at Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County. You see some of the oranges and reds right along the horizon there where we're getting a break in those clouds. It's not a bad look to the sky out there. Mid-40s for most at this hour. Even some low 40s starting to creep on in. Wise and Moorhead, cool spots at 39. So we'll continue to see cold weather as we head through the nighttime hours for tonight. We're going to continue to see some nice weather there. As we look at satellite and radar here, we're going to see that some of those showers are beginning to work in to the far southern communities in Tennessee. Nothing we have to worry about as we head through tonight. We keep that WYMT weather app handy because those clouds as they work through will continue to give us the potential for some clear skies as we head through the nighttime hours, depending on how fast those move out. And when they do, we'll cool down quick. I'll have the latest on what that means for your holiday forecast coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. The government says U.S. population growth is the lowest it's been since the founding of our nation, and they say COVID is one of the leading factors. This comes as the Omicron variant is now sweeping across the country, forcing the Biden administration to respond. The White House is announcing several steps to combat the surge, including adding pop-up vaccination and testing sites.
We're hoping that when we get through this Omicron wave, that we will have enough people vaccinated and or having been infected and recovered well, that there will be a degree of immunity in the community such that you don't have a situation where it's dominating your life.
The White House will also be purchasing 500 million at-home rapid tests to send to Americans for free starting in January and deploying additional troops to help overwhelmed hospitals. The Biden administration says it is safe to gather for the holidays as long as everyone is vaccinated and boosted. A jury in Minneapolis is deciding the fate of former police officer Kim Potter. The jury received the case after emotional final testimony from Potter, who broke down on the stand while insisting she did not intend to hurt anyone. Potter is on trial for shooting and killing 20-year-old Dante Wright during a traffic stop in April. Potter claims she accidentally pulled her gun instead of her taser.
Remember yelling, "Taser, taser, taser," and nothing happened. And then he told me I shot him.
Police pulled Wright over for hanging an air freshener from his rearview mirror, which is illegal in Minnesota, before discovering he had a warrant. The defense said Wright's attempt to get away put an officer in danger, which justified Potter's actions. Prosecutor Aaron Eldridge disagreed, saying Potter violated her years of training by drawing and using the wrong weapon. Republican Representative Scott Perry rejected a request from the January 6th committee to testify voluntarily. Now that he's refused, the group investigating the siege on the U.S. Capitol will have to subpoena him to get his testimony. This is the first known attempt from the committee to speak to a lawmaker regarding then-President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. In a statement, Perry said he will, quote, continue to fight the failures of the radical left who desperately seek distractions for their abject failures. The holiday travel rush is only ramping up. The Transportation Security Administration says it screened more than 2 million people at airports nationwide for the 5th day in a row. The TSA anticipates 30 million people to travel by air through January 3rd. In general, AAA expects more than 109 million people to travel 50 miles or more. That's a 30% increase from 2020. Airlines will see a 184% increase from last year. And on the subject of travel, runners from around the world convened for what might be the most extreme marathon on the planet. 62 people from 18 countries competed in a grueling, freezing, relentless marathon in Antarctica. The race started just a few hundred miles from the South Pole and near zero temperatures. To the runners, participation trophies actually mean something here.
It was never going to be easy coming to the coldest, windiest, highest and driest continent on the planet, but as much as it was brutal, it's also majestic. It's so beautiful.
11 of the runners joined the 7 Continents Marathon Club by completing a marathon on all 7 continents. A lady from Latvia broke the women's record, coming in at 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 11 seconds. Your DNA could actually determine whether or not you take your coffee black. A recent study in the journal Nature's Scientific reports that people born with a quicker caffeine metabolism prefer black coffee. That could mean that it's not so much they like the bitter taste, but instead want strong coffee because of its higher caffeine content. The same people tend to prefer dark chocolate, possibly for the same reason. In the study, people who have a genetic marker associated with a higher sensitivity to caffeine were more likely to add cream and sugar. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, Christmas just days away now, and many Marines are in full-on Santa mode. How Toys for Tots is making sure children across the country have a gift to open despite the ongoing pandemic.
Not only do we have warm weather on the way back in, but what about the chance for some showers as we approach Christmas? I'll have those answers on the way.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they